Great. Well, hi there, everybody. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds just to feel a little bit comfortable. Have a look around at who's here. Have a look at my gorgeous face. Excellent. You may have joined a cooking class online before. It might be something completely new to you. So I want you to take a big, deep breath and have a nice big deep breath out. Shake your hands. Fantastic. All right, we're still letting a few people in. Brilliant. So my name is Beth and I am going to be cooking with you today. And we are making sausage rolls. Brilliant. All right, looks like we've got the majority of people have come in. Excellent. Well, welcome. So good to have you here today. As I said, my name is Beth and we are going to be cooking. And there's a whole bunch of us all around New South Wales and South Australia. You might be homeschooled, you might be at school, but we are going to be doing some fun cooking today. So let me give you a little bit of a brief overview of how it's going to operate today or how we're going to run. So I'm going to go over 5 safety tips that I talk about before every single class, and every single cook does this in every single cooking session. Then we're going to read over our ingredients. Then we're going to read over our equipment, and then we're going to get into the fun stuff. But before we start, I want to know a little bit about you. So we've got our chat, and you are free to cook in the background. Love you to keep your audio on mute so we can't hear you, but that means that you can talk with your family in the background. Excellent. But if you want to put your video on so I can see you, amazing. If you want to just keep yourself hidden, that's fine. It's all great. Now we are going to use the chat facility today. So if you would like to pop in the chat where you are from. So if you are from if you are from Sydney, or if you are from the Northern Rivers, or if you are from Barossa Valley, or if you are from Ceduna or Whyalla or Bega, what's the closest city that you are part of? And, oh, Tamworth, love that. And also, what's your favorite thing to eat at home? What's your favorite thing to eat at home? So whether it could be a dessert, it could be a Friday night pizza, it could be something that your mum makes incredibly, or your grandma, or your uncle, or your dad. Pop in Nutella. Love it. Great. So while you guys do that, and I'm loving seeing what you're popping in, let me just change that so I can actually see it. Whole chat. We love that. All right. Oh, excellent. Wollongong. Great lasagna. Your mum's lasagna. Great. Well, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. So my name is Beth, of course. I've said that 3 times. And I am a mum, and I have 4 gorgeous daughters, and they are all grown up. Now, yesterday was one of my daughters is getting married, first one to get married, and she had her bridal shower yesterday. And so one of the things she said to me was, "Mum, can you make your sausage rolls?" And so I said, of course, of course. And everyone loves these sausage rolls. So you are sharing one of our family's favorite dishes. So let me see what else we've got on there. James is from Sydney. Great. Sushi. Love it. Cake. Come on. Love it. Excellent. Let's see what else we've got. Mum soups. Yeah, great. Northern Rivers, excellent. Cookies, cakes, and sushi's made an appearance a couple of times. Great. Oh gosh, sushi's a big hit here. I love that. That's very interesting. Teriyaki and udon. Yum. Guys, it's only 10 o'clock in the morning and I'm already hungry. Wonderful. All right. So what you're going to experience today in the cooking class is what I do with our Kids Cooking Club members every week. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we do, and you are getting today like a taster class. So you can see what we do and you're going to learn some things. And of course, you're going to cook up something amazing. Great. Excellent. Okay, so we've got our video, we've got our recipe here. But before we do that, I'm going to go over 5 safety tips. Now, as I say these in every single class I've ever done over the last 10 years. So great. First one is wash your hands. If you haven't washed your hands already, go and wash your hands, because you are in your own kitchen. And that's what makes a great class, an online class, is because you're in your own space. So you know where things are and you can easily access. Okay, so we're going to wash our hands. Then we're going to keep our hands away from our nose and our mouth. Again, if you scratch your nose or you have a little pick, go and wash your hands straight away. And remember, no one else can see you, so whatever. Third thing, cough and sneeze into your elbow, but make sure that you turn away from your workspace. So we don't want to be sneezing all over here, all over your workbench. Cough and sneeze into your elbow. Make sure that you turn away from your workbench. Great. Fourth thing, and I hope everyone's listening here, always speak nicely about food. Now, if you've been in any of my classes before, you know that I do not like corn. Now, that doesn't mean that corn is yuck. It just means that I don't like it. So when I say, so actually, who loves corn here? Pop your hand up if you love corn. Yeah, great. I love it. Great. Love corn. Yeah, great. Love corn. I love tomato though. I could eat tomatoes by the bag full. And I also love mushrooms. Like yesterday I was sitting there eating a raw mushroom and somebody said to me, "Are you for real?" I said, "I love them. I could eat the whole bag." Great. So always speak nicely. Always speak nicely about food. And the last thing is, if you are at home, particularly if you are cooking with a sibling or a friend or a cousin or somebody or a buddy, keep your utensils pointing downwards. Beautiful. All right. Now, as we go through the class today, the lovely Annalise is going to be putting in the recipe steps and ingredients. So before you ask a question, I want you to check the chat, because you might find that you didn't hear me properly if you were talking or in the background. And I 100% want you talking to your family in the background. But check the chat before you ask a question. If you ask a question that isn't related to the recipe, you might ask why I'm doing something. Put the letter Q at the beginning of your question so that Annalise can recognize that it is a question. Great. And I love questions, because if you are thinking about something, chances are that there are a whole bunch of other people asking the same question. Great. All right, so let's read through our recipe. So we've got sausage rolls. We've got prep time is about 30 minutes. Cook time is about 20 minutes. And you're going to make 16 little sausage rolls. Great. So prep time is 30 minutes. Cook time is 20 minutes. And makes about 16 pieces. Now I'm going to chit chat. So I will chit chat as I knock things over. I'm going to chit chat to you, and I'm going to tell you all about what we do here and how you guys can learn and grow in your cooking skills. And so what I'm actually doing is I'm looking at, I can see a whole bunch of you on my screen here. And what I'm looking to see is how you are, what pace you're cooking at, what speed. So I'm going to be looking at people to see, all right, have we finished whisking our eggs, or have we finished massaging the meat? Great. So If you find yourself racing ahead, great, you're doing that at your pace. But if you find yourself lagging a little bit behind, don't stress. You'll always catch up. So if you find yourself getting a bit heightened, take a big deep breath. Everything will be great. Everything works out. This is our first day of school holidays. We're going to have a good time. Great. Okay, then. So, Annalise, can you add my overhead screen? Great. All right, excellent. So for the next little while, you'll see my overhead screen and you'll see my face. When we start cooking, you don't need to see my face, as gorgeous as I am. You'll just need to be able to see what you're cooking is what I'm cooking as well. Great. So I've got our recipe here. And what I'm going to do here is read through the ingredients. Now, all I need you to do here, we're not worried about the amounts. We'll do the amounts when we start cooking. What we're doing here is we're checking everything. Now, you can see that I've got all of my ingredients here and I've got all of my equipment here. I'm not putting it together because I lose things. And so to make it really nice and simple, and in cooking, we call this mise en place. It's a fancy French word. You put all of your ingredients together in one spot, all of your equipment together in another spot. And that just makes it easy so that if I'm looking for an egg, I know that it's not going to be over here. I know it's going to be here. Okay, so I'm going to read through these ingredients. All you need to do is check that you've got it on your workbench. Great. So you will need some mince. Doesn't matter what kind of mince it is. You'll need an egg. You'll need 1 egg and 1 yolk. You'll need some breadcrumbs. You'll need some cumin. You'll need some paprika. You'll need some salt. You'll need some onion powder. I've got a fresh onion. Fresh, is that the word? Yep, I've got a real onion. Great. You'll need some puff pastry. And you'll need some sesame seeds. Now, I've got black sesame seeds, and the reason I've got black sesame seeds is so that you can see them on top of my sausage rolls. So it's a bit hard to see white on white. Beautiful. Now, let's check our equipment. You'll need some measuring cups and spoons. I've got mine just off screen there. You'll need a mixing bowl, a chopping board, and a knife, a pastry brush. I've got a pastry brush here. I've just got a cheap little Kmart one. If you don't have a pastry brush, grab yourself a piece of paper towel. I'll show you how to do the same thing. You'll need a small bowl and a metal fork or any kind of fork. A baking tray with some baking paper. A large spoon. The dessert spoon is fine and dandy. I've got a little rice spoon here. Disposable gloves, or if you don't have disposable gloves, I've got a little freezer bag. That's if you don't want to touch the meat, which the majority of people don't want to put your hands on the meat. So that's fine. Disposable gloves and a cooling rack. If you've got one, you might have a cork mat at home. I've just got a little cooling rack here. Excellent. Okie dokie. Let me know if you're ready to start cooking. Give me a thumbs up in the chat or just in your video, if your video is on, and then I can see. Great. All right. Well done, Anika. Great. Grayson, beautiful. All right, who've we got? Excellent. Ellie, Zara, Imogen. Great. Soha, Jake, Caitlin and Emma. Beautiful. All right, let's do it. So I'm just grabbing my little recipe here. Okay, you will see on the recipe that we've got red arrows. So those red arrows are where there is a step that you might need to ask for help. Now, obviously in this class, we've got kids from, you might be 5, you might be 14. So it depends on your skill level. And so they're there so that if you do need help, And there's no problem with asking for help. When you ask for help, you get to do something safely and a lot better. And it helps you to be able to work towards being independent. Great. So first thing you're going to do is preheat your oven to 190 degrees. 190 degrees. Now, if you have never popped your oven on yourself, this is a great chance for you to learn how to turn your oven on at your place. There are thousands of types of ovens, and everybody's oven is different. So you might have a dial one, you might have an electronic one, you might have one that you can speak to it. Or you might have one that you've got to turn a dial and then press a button. That's my one. You've got to do lots of things. So great. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to grab your baking tray. And you can see that my baking tray is very, very well loved and used. And you're going to pop a piece of baking paper onto it. Fan bake, great question. See, we love a great question. Fan bake is excellent. If you've got cakes, like if you've got a cake setting, you can do that. You don't have an oven, you can do this in the air fryer. That's another thing, which I hadn't thought of, and I'm going to write that down because that's great. All right, beautiful. Pop that to the side because you're not going to need that for a little while. Pop that to the side. And then I want you to grab your mixing bowl. Grab your mixing bowl. All right, I give everybody a couple of fantastic. All right, got your bowl. Great, fabulous. First thing I want you to do is add your meat. Now, you might need to take the cover off, depending on if you've bought a pack from the grocery store. And I want you to, if you have got a pack, I want you to put the pack straight into the bin, or if you're washing it up, pop it in the sink. So there's lots of different tips that you'll hear today that our Kids Cooking Club members learn throughout their lessons. So, and as we cook a recipe, the great thing about cooking is that we learn as we go. And the more that we do it, the better that we get. All right. All right, so we've added your meat. And then you're going to add your cumin. So you're going to add, so what we're following here is we're following the recipe instructions. All right, so cumin, you're going to add 2 teaspoons of cumin. Now you will see that I will never measure over the bowl. And the reason I don't measure over the bowl, because if we accidentally pour some into our bowl, it makes it really, really tricky. It makes it really, really tricky to get it out. So always measure at the side. So you can see I've got this little mat, and that's for me, makes it really easy for me to clean. All right, so 2 teaspoons of ground cumin. So grab my teaspoon measure, and I want a flat measure. All right, Annalise, can you just get rid of my face? Because nobody needs my face at this point. We just need a nice big overhead screen. Great. So we've got a nice flat, thank you. We've a nice flat measure, and then you can just add it. So 2 teaspoons of cumin. Now, if you don't like spices or flavorings in your sausage rolls, you don't have to add the paprika or the cumin. You can just have it with enough flavor in it. Great. So 2 teaspoons of cumin. Great. Excellent. And then we're doing 1 teaspoon of smoky paprika. If you've just got sweet paprika or Hungarian paprika or whatever, you just, any of those are going to work because they're full of flavor. Beautiful. Yeah, no, that's fine. Jake, is not to have a parent. No, that's fine. That's fine. As long as you're capable and you can ask for help, because you might find everyone's in a different situation. You might have parent working. Great. So we've got 2 teaspoons of cumin, 2 teaspoons of cumin, and 1 teaspoon of smoky paprika. So I'm giving you time to be able to do this. And I know for some of you, you're going to be like racing ahead, but we do it at like a bit of an average speed. I've been cooking with kids for the last 10 years and and we're based in Sydney, and we've had a team and we would go across Sydney doing all sorts of really fun activities with kids and food, and we would go into vacation care centres and into shopping centres, and we did big events and all sorts of super fun things. And then during the pandemic, of course, we went online. And one of the things I loved about being online is that we found that the kids that joined our live cooking classes or any of our cooking classes started to get really or grow in their cooking skills. And so I thought, oh, how funny is that? And then I realized that there were kids all over Australia that wanted to join cooking classes but didn't live local. And so we decided that we would keep our cooking school going, and that's what we do now. So Kids Cooking Club. Okay, so we've got our beef, your mince, you've got your cumin, you've got your paprika, and then you're going to add salt. So it says 3/4 teaspoon of salt. 3/4 teaspoon of salt. Now there is no 3/4. There's no 3/4 measure. So if you want to use half a teaspoon measure, your half teaspoon measure, and then your 1/4 teaspoon measure. Or you can, or you can just use it 1 teaspoon and not do it all the way to the top. So 1 1/4. Beautiful. And we need salt to be able to bring all the flavors out. Yeah, great. Love it. So Rickle said, I did approximately 0.8 teaspoons. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's funny. Our Kids Cooking Club members learn when you have to be super specific in a recipe, and like in baking. In baking, we always are super specific with our measurements. But in things like this, you can play around with it. And they're the things that, so we have 4 different levels of skills, starting at 0 stars, not 0, 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star. And that, and so each recipe has a star rating on skill level. So if you're right at the beginning of your cooking journey, you might want to look for recipes that are just 1 star. But then if you are a bit more experienced and you've done lots of cake making, and you might even do a little bit of cooking at home for meals, then you might want to be look for recipes that are like 2 or 3 or 4 star. Great. So we've done our salt. And then you're going to add your breadcrumbs. So 3 tablespoons of breadcrumbs.
Mom, did you add breadcrumbs?
3 tablespoons of breadcrumbs. And I want to encourage you not to have it like super high. Make sure that you measure accurately. Great. Oh, great. So Jake knows already that he is like a 3 to 4 star cook. Fantastic. And everybody's at different paces. So, and you can see again, I'm measuring at the side. Right. We had, we've got a member who started with us about 3 years ago, and her name is Anna. And when Anna started, she was just, I think she was 8, and she wanted to learn how to cook brownies. And she wasn't interested in cooking midweek meals. She was only interested in cooking, learning how to cook sweet things. And really, she wanted to learn how to cook brownies. And she joined us, and then she caught the cooking bug. And then she decided, and so, and then we started this program, which we've still got going today, called Midweek Meals. And so every Wednesday afternoon during term time, I have a bunch of our members join me live and they cook dinner for their family. So 5 o'clock, log in with all of your ingredients because you have access to everything straight ahead of time, and they cook dinner. And so Anna started joining the midweek meals, and then she started improving and growing in her skills. And she used to stand on this little, because she's so tiny, she used to stand on this stool over her stovetop so that she could be high enough above the fry pan. And she just got better and better and better. And I love seeing our members grow. And so, yeah, they'll send me through photos of something that they've made. And I love that. All right, so we've got our breadcrumbs in. And then if you're using onion powder, I want you to add, what does the recipe say? Half a teaspoon. Half a teaspoon. All right. Now, if you are going to grate an onion, you can see I've chopped it in half, and I'm just going to cut off the bottom. There's all sorts of different ways to grate an onion. I've got my box grater here. Now, for you guys that are using onion powder, it is just half a teaspoon of onion powder. I'm just doing this live. I'm sure some of you have already done it beforehand. You need onion. Jake said, I need onion glasses. I love it. I'm using this side of the grater, and you can see that I've pushed the bowl as far away as I can because I don't want those onion fumes going up my nose. So I'm holding it. I haven't taken the skin off because that makes it easy for me to hold. All right. Now you're going to ask me, why, Beth, aren't we just dicing it up? And the reason is we don't want big chunky pieces of onion. We just want it really like nice little smooth ones. You could do it in the food processor. We're just doing it the old-fashioned way. And because this is school holidays, we've got time to do things like this. Ooh. Brilliant. Great. I can see who's grated before and who's used onion powder. Great. Hey, Tilly. Great. Well done, Raquel. All right. Once you're done, and you don't have to go all the way. All right. So you can see that I've got a little bit left. Oh, gosh. Putting that straight into the bin. And I'm just scraping my onion. And just getting it out. You give it a little tap. Perfect. Once you've used your grater, I want you to go give it a rinse so that those fumes aren't around your kitchen. And I need to wipe my hands. Beautiful. Once you've done your onion, we're going to crack the egg. I'm going to crack the egg. Love that. Where did I get myself? Oh, Kmart. I buy heaps of stuff from Kmart because I use so many things. That's why. I've got fancy ones, but I did see something on the internet yesterday about if you've got 16 spatulas, but you've only got one really good spatula that's your favorite and it's in the dishwasher, then really you've got no spatulas. I thought, that's me. Got my favorite spatula. All right, we've got our egg. I will never crack an egg straight into the bowl because I don't want to be fishing around for shell. But I also, if there is a little blood spot in the egg, I don't want to be able to fish that out as well. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the tap and crack method. Tap and crack. So tap, got my little bowl. You could use a teacup. So you can see I've just created a little crack. Put my thumb in. Oh gosh, that was impressive. And crack it into the bowl. Now, if you've got a little bit of shell in your bowl, it is so easy to pull it out using the egg shell. So the egg shell is designed to cut through the egg white, the protein of the egg white. Now, it doesn't matter. It does not matter if the yolk cracks. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you get 55 pieces of tiny little eggshells in there. It doesn't matter. It's all about learning. Great. No. Yeah. No, just use whatever you've got. You can even use like a measuring cup, like a little plastic one. Great. Once you've got your egg, I meant like a enamel, not an enamel. How old am I? Not a teacup, like a coffee cup, like this. Got my water in there, something like that. Once you've used that, pop that to the side because you won't need that. Great. Excellent. Fish out what you can. All right. I love it, guys. It doesn't matter because you know what? When we start to do anything in life, we're never amazing at it. We always start at the very lowest skill and then we get better and better and better. Whether it's playing a sport, whether it's playing a musical instrument, whether it's an online game, whether it's cooking, we start with the least amount of skills and then we get better and better and better the more that we practice. And so that's the reason why we have kids cooking clubs, so that you can, on a regular basis, keep practicing. Great. Love that. Oh, well done, Khan. Well done. Khan got no cracks in. Beautiful. All right. So we are now up to step 4. Step 4. Now, if you've got a disposable glove, great. As I say, I've just got a freezer bag because I can't stand cutting it, and I can't stand touching the meat. So when we mix, we've got clean hand, dirty hand. Clean hand, dirty hand. Whatever hand you write with, that's your dirty hand. So I'm just going to pop my little handy dandy glove on, and we're going to start squeezing our meat together. So when we need dough, I'll always say to our members, don't squeeze the dough through your fingers. With dough, we've got to be nice and tender. We've got to look after the dough, be kind to it. But with the meat, I totally want you to be squeezing it and pushing it through your fingers and making, you can move it around as much as you, it does look weird. I love that. Great. Tomorrow we start April Bake School. And April Bake School is a series of 8 lessons. It's like a mini course that we're doing in the school holiday. We do every school holidays, we do a bake school. And it's always based on baking. So not stovetop use, but baking. And we start with simple things and grow. Each week or each recipe, we add a little bit more skills. We've got live classes and we've got replays so that you can watch them in your own time. So tomorrow we start with 3 ingredient scones with jam and cream. We're not going to make the jam. We're going to make the scones. Then we're doing Greek spinach and cheese pie. It is cold. I know Andrew said it is cold. Make sure that you go all the way to the bottom. So you're really turning it over. Go right to the bottom. Like my bag is really, it's not attractive at all on any level, but that's okay. I don't want that over my hands. I'd rather this. So we've got 3 ingredient scones, and then we've got spinach and cheese pastry, little pies. Then we're doing berry and oat slice. So yum. We're making chicken enchiladas. We're making Anzac cookies. What else are we doing? We've also got some bonus recipes. So bonus recipes are recipes that there's not a live class to, but you can watch the videos in your own time. And that it's like Kids Cooking Club is like a Netflix subscription, and it's better than YouTube in that I don't know about you, but I'll watch a video and then I see another video. I go, oh, I might watch that one now. And then I see another video and I go, oh, and then all of a sudden I'm 16 videos away from where I started. But the great thing about Kids Cooking Club is that you've got 250 recipes in the recipe library. And you've got, so we just keep going, keep moving your meat. And you've got your midweek meals, and then you've got your bake schools in the school holidays. So there's always something that you can access. Okay. So you can see now that my meat, you might find that your meat is coming together quite like, it's almost coming together like sausage. That's why we're called sausage rolls. Great. And in our midweek meals, we have this lovely family that's joined us recently. And the older sister joined, Charlotte, and then her little sister, Lucy, who looks like she's about 6 or 7, has started joining, and she's caught the cooking bug as well. And I'm noticing her pulling up a chair and leaning in and wanting to help Charlotte. And it's great because what they're doing is they're cooking dinner for their family together, which is super fun. Great. All right. So you can see now I'll just put it a little bit closer to the camera. Great. So you can see it's come together quite nicely. Okay, what have we got there? Yeah. Great. All right. So Kids Cooking Club, Annalise will be popping a link up in the chat, but you'll also get an email later today with the replay from today's classes and also links to be able to join. Great. So have a look at that. All right, if you're finished with your meat, it's all come together really nicely. I want you to give me a chat. I want you to give me a thumbs up. I'm seeing lots of thumbs up. Great. You can either pop it in the chat or so I can see it. Great. Love it. And there's 48 of us in the meeting. Great. Love it. Great. Great. Okay, great. Well, I will not hold you up any longer. Beautiful. So I want you to put your meat just to the side for a moment and grab your 2 sheets of pastry. Pop them side by side. So at the moment, we are at step 5. We've just completed step 5. Great. So with your workspace, I want you to take 30 seconds to just get a little bit organized. So if there is some eggshells on your workbench, I want you to pop them in your bin. I want you to just get nice and organized. So you can see that I've moved all of my equipment to the side again. And the reason we do this is because it just keeps us calm. We had this lovely little boy called Justin join us in a few months ago. And just, I can't remember what we were doing, but we were doing something that involved pink food coloring. And, and Justin thought, I'm just going to race through. And so one of the things we say is make sure that you keep your workbench organized. And keeping your workbench organized is making sure that you pop your used things in the bin. It's closing bottles. It's sealing up packs. And so we were doing something that involved pink food coloring. And he popped in the chat, oh no, I've just spilt my red food coloring all over the bench top. And so I could see his mum cleaning and cleaning that all up. And so what happened is it was a great learning opportunity because then he realized, oh, I really need to make sure that I close the lids, pack things down. And so this mise en place or this getting organized is really super important because that ensures that we don't get pink food coloring all over it. And these are the things that we learn inside Kids Cooking Club, how to set up your kitchen, how to pack down your kitchen. All right, so we've got our pieces of pastry. If they're really, like if they're not bendable, if you've just taken them out of the freezer, wait until they're nice and soft, because otherwise what will happen is your pastry will crack. So we don't want that. Great. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a quick little fold, and I'm pressing this at the corner there. And then I'm folding it out again. So fold it in half, just a quick little tap to make a line. And then you've found your middle. Now we're keeping the plastic sheet on. That's fine. That's just going to make it a little bit easier to move. You can see I'm moving this. And then what I'm going to do, and if you need help, ask someone to help you with this. So I've found my middle here. I'm going to do it this way just because it's easier for me because I'm right-handed. I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to draw a line across the middle. It doesn't have to be a perfectly straight line. If you are one of those people that loves things being super, super neat, you can use your recipe, or you can use a cutting board or something just to get that measure. Mine's kind of gone for, it's like a river, woo, all over the shop. Great. And we do the same thing for the other sheet of pastry. All right, now you might be using regular wheat puff pastry, but you might be using gluten-free puff pastry. So I'm gluten-free. I will not be eating these, guys. My lovely family will be very excited about this. But what we do is, in every single recipe inside the cooking club, we have what's called swappables. Great. I know that's Ahmed. You're going to be fine, buddy. Ahmed was saying he's a bit worried that he's going to forget the plastic. You won't. You won't forget the plastic. All right, I'll come back to my story in a moment. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to roughly divide our mixture into 4. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect at this point. So I'm just putting the knife in, and I'm making 4 pieces. You see how I'm doing that? It doesn't have to be perfect, guys. Your meat is a clump, not a ball. Yeah, that's okay. That's because I pushed it together in a ball, Rickle. That's fine. Mine's blue too. Plastic, right? Yeah. Don't worry about your plastic at this. That's all good. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take 1 piece of meat. Now this, again, you can use your gloves. Because the meat is a little bit more smoother, it doesn't bother me as much. So grab 1 piece of meat and pop it onto the first sheet of pastry. Then what we're going to do is we're going to spread it out. And you'll just have to, you might see that I just picked up a piece from there and moved it along and got it so that it's even all the way. Now we want to make sure that we get it all the way to the end, because nobody wants to bite into an empty piece of puff pastry. You want your meat to go all the way to the edges of your pastry. Yeah, we're going to do that in a minute, Ellie. Great question. I do forget steps, so I get caught up with thinking about 7 things. So feel free to ask me questions. Right, so you can see that I'm making it nice and even. So I'll just move my hands away for the moment. You can see that I've got a little bit more up here, so I'm moving it so that it's great. As I was saying before, every single recipe that we do, we have what's called swappables. And swappables are ingredients that you can use if your family doesn't eat a certain ingredient, or is allergic, or has a cultural reason why you can't use it. And so we have a video, we have a description, we have some safety tips. And so we'll give you options. So today I had a few people saying to me, do you do meatless sausage rolls? Which we don't in the free class. And so if that was one of our regular classes, we'd say, well, you could use French lentils, or you could use mushrooms and chopped up finely mushrooms and zucchini. Great. So I've done that now, and I remember I'm going to do this 4 times. So if you miss it the first time, it's all good. I'm going to take the bottom of my pastry, the bottom, and I'm going to fold it. Oh, I've got a little bit of onion. I'm going to fold it over the top. So watch what I'm doing. I'm going to fold it over the top. And this is where we peel the pastry back, Ahmed. So I know you were a bit concerned about that. Great. And then we keep rolling it away from yourself. So you can see that I'm using these parts of my hands and I'm tucking them in. I'm tucking the meat in so it's nice and tight. Great, Victoria. Victoria's already finished. That's awesome. Great. That's the beauty of this sort of class, is that everyone's working at slightly different paces. Okay, so I lifted it up. And I'm going to just pick it up, pop it straight onto my board. Now you can do it lengthwise. I'll do it lengthwise like that. It's okay, Shiloh. Shiloh says, I'm not really good at this. Remember, I just said before, when we start doing something, we're never like amazing. If you think Justin Bieber started playing guitar and piano, he didn't start, and he couldn't probably play Happy Birthday when he first started. So Taylor Swift, I'm sure she didn't play guitar at 2. Great. All right, so just once you've done your first one, we just move on. We just keep all of the steps together. So the messy bit, we're doing this messy bit. So joining this free class today has given you an activity to do on your first day of school holidays. So in Bake School, you'll be able to join an activity, and that most of the classes are at 3 p.m. every afternoon. So it leaves you to be able to do something in the morning and then come home and you've got an activity to do in the afternoon. I think there's one day that we're doing in the morning, but every other class is in the afternoon. And you can get the replay afterwards. Great. So once you've done that first one, go from the bottom over the top. Beautiful. So Annalise has got I know some of you are doing the meat, but Annalise has just popped a link in the chat that you can click through. Now, one thing that I didn't say before is that we are giving a prize away today. We're giving 2 prizes away. And the first prize is a monthly membership a 1-month membership to Kids Cooking Club. And the other is a kids baking kit. So an apron with some utensils. All right, so we'll announce that at the end. Once you've got the second one, 2 hands, holding it underneath and moving it over to your tray. Once you've got your piece of paper, your plastic, pop that straight into your bin. Whether you pop it in your soft plastics bin or your regular waste. And then you can move on to your second piece of pastry. And you'll find that our recipes don't involve really random ingredients. Because there's this one thing that I can't stand is going to my pantry and finding, like for me, I don't, we all have the same things that we cook. So you just don't want to have random things in your parents' or your caregivers don't want random ingredients in the cupboard. So what we do is we give options. And so, like I was saying, there was swappables, but also that we make sure that they are affordable recipes and accessible. So you don't have to go to some random place. Oh, I've got to go to 6 shops to get the ingredients for Kids Cooking Club. No. There might be 1 or 2, we were making mochi one time. And so to get mochi, you need a special flour. But that was just a very, very random ingredient. Now, when you've got your sausage rolls, be sure that you're putting your seam line, or to show you the seam line where it joins. I want you to pop that at the bottom. Right. Because when your sausage rolls cook, they heat up, and remember, it's like a science lesson. Hot air expands. So what's going to happen is that in your puff pastry is all these tiny little air bubbles. It's going to puff up. So we don't want it to unroll. All right, we're going fantastic, guys. I'm so looking forward to this. Well, not I am, but it's going to smell amazing. Right. So the ingredients at Kids Cooking Club, they're affordable and they're accessible. And if your parents do online shopping, like as in order your groceries in, all of the ingredients are things that you can order online. You don't have to go to some random place. And some people love live classes. Yeah, there you go. Great. Ahmed got all of his stuff from Coles. Great. I'm a Woolies girl. Only because it's around the corner and it's really easy to get to. Great. All right, so I'm folding that last one over. And I'm going to peel my plastic back, tucking it in, so nice, great, and then rolling. And it doesn't matter with sibling power. We love sibling power. Teamwork makes the dream work. That's cool. Right, so I'm giving it a little roll. For some reason, those little onion stalky things. Great. We're way it. Love it, Caitlin and Emma. Great. Love, love, love it. All right, beautiful. Let me see how we're traveling along. All right, looks like Zara, looks like you're done. Ellie, looks like you're done, unless your sous chef there is helping you. Love that. Yeah, you're up to the egg. Great. Kerry Lee, great. Aaron, yeah, Rickle, beautiful. Audrey, Michaela, Zaina, great. Good one, guy. Khan, Max and Leo, Jessica, Aaliyah, Andrea, Raina, Lauren. Oh, gosh, the Kasab family. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. So what we're going to do, look, I know the recipe says to do oh, no, we can do that. We'll do everything by the recipe. Okay. So what we're going to do, I like to cheat a bit. Can you tell? All right. Tap and crack. But I want you to watch me first. So I'm going to tap till I've got a little crack. Then I'm going to put my thumb in. There are several ways you can do this. So what you can do is turn your egg right way up. And then as you peel it back, whoops, Daisy, the white will just come out. Now, if you're a little bit more experienced, you can just pass the yolk from shell to shell. The other option is that you just put your whole egg into a bowl. Use a spoon and just pull out your yolk and pop it into another bowl. And when you're learning, that is great, because what you actually are learning is how the egg is structured, or how the egg is made up. So you can see it's got a shell, it's got the egg white, and it's got the egg yolk. All right, grab yourself a fork and we're going to give a little whisk. So whisking is not really stirring, whisking. So this is what I say. Whisking is not a roundabout, it's a Ferris wheel. So, you know, the Ferris wheel goes into the air. So doesn't take long. And then your egg yolk is nice and creamy. And then you're going to pop that at the side. How can one crack an egg so neatly? I know, it is tricky, isn't it, bud? Great. That's great. See, again, every time we do something, we figure out a better way to do it. And sometimes we can make something and say, oh, that was a disaster. And I have disasters. Sometimes I think, look, I'll try this. And then I realize, no, that didn't work out at all. And that's absolutely okay. Done. We're up to cutting. Great, Caitlin and Emma. Great, you are super, super fast. All right, I have got my knife now. Got my knife, and I'm going to hold the meat in the middle. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. I want you to get your knife and cut it all the way to the bottom. And then for the side ones, I just want you to put like a little cut that doesn't go all the way through, just tops. What that does is it allows the steam to pop out. So the middle one, just judge it with your eye all the way through to the bottom. And you're going back and forward like you're chopping down a tree, all the way chopping down a tree. And then the middle one is just a little bit in. The great thing about midweek meals is that often as parents we'll say, oh, I just don't have time. Now, how do I fit teaching cooking into our busy schedule? But the good thing about midweek meals, and it's only in term time, is that dinner gets cooked for you, which is super fun. And you're going to cook dinner anyway. So the great thing is that the kids you guys are able to cook. Now, while you guys finish that off, I am going to grab a piece of paper towel, just show you what. Nara's here, Abby's here, Hanson is here, great. Beautiful. Who's that person there? Great. Excellent. Right, Francis. Okay, if you have got a piece of paper, if you haven't got a pastry brush, so I'm going to use my pastry brush, but if you don't have a pastry brush, then what you're going to do is paper towel over the top, fold it again, and fold it again. So if you've got a pastry brush but you can't find it in your kitchen, because sometimes we end up with so many things, so many utensils in our utensil drawer, sometimes it's a really little trick. So there's always more than one way to do something when we cook it. So whether you're using your little paper pastry brush or whether you're going to use your actual pastry brush, what we're going to do is start brushing the tops of your sausage rolls. Now, by this stage, your oven is well and truly heated or preheated. And you might want to ask, if you don't know this already, how do I know if my oven is preheated? And that would be, for some people, there might be a little like a chime, or there might be a little light on your oven. So mine, I've got a little light. And when the little light goes off, then I know, oh, great, my oven has reached the right temperature. So ask someone at home, how do I know when the oven has reached the right temperature, or it's called being preheated? So I'm lifting this little bowl up. You might find it easier to just have it on the ground or on the bench top and paint. And the egg yolk is just enough to be able to do all of your pieces. Now, one of the other things that we teach at Inside Kids Cooking Club is we teach pack, wash, wipe. Pack, wash, wipe. So at the end of every cooking session, we pack. So we pack away all of the ingredients that you are finished with, making sure that the lids are shut and sealed and closed and all the rest of it. Packing your utensils. So that's your pack. Wash. So whether you're popping something into the dishwasher or whether you're popping it into the, like you're going to hand wash it. So pack, wash. And the last thing that you do is you wipe. So you wipe down your bench. So we wipe down the bench, make sure that all of the splatters and spills have been cleaned up. So if you've got any little extra of your egg yolk, just keep using it till it's all gone. So pack, wash, wipe. And at the end of the replay, you'll see the little slide that comes up that says pack, wash, wipe. And inside Kids Cooking Club, there's a downloadable PDF that you can, like a little poster that you can print out, pop it up in your kitchen to remind yourself to do pack, wash, wipe. Because I always say, if you are old enough to cook, you are old enough to clean. Old enough to cook, old enough to clean. Do you agree? All the parents, all the sous chefs in the background go, yes, absolutely. And when you clean up after yourself, I can 1000% guarantee that your parents will say, yes, of course you can cook again. Old enough to cook, old enough to clean. And that shows that independence, that we all want independence. We all want to be able to cook things, make snacks after school, or bake over the weekend or over the school holidays. So now you can see that my lovely sausage rolls, some of them are a little bit bent out of shape, but that's going to straighten them up a bit. Some people really care about that. Some people do not care. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle the tops of my sausage rolls. Now I'm using black sesame seeds because I've got them. You can use poppy seeds. You can use white sesame seeds. You can even use some chia seeds or some flax seeds if you've got those at home. If you've got someone at home that makes smoothies or smoothie bowls, you might have flax seeds or chia seeds. That's just something different. Or even you can sprinkle some herbs, like some dried herbs like oregano or some dried mint. Beautiful. How good does that look? Fantastic. So we start April Bake School tomorrow afternoon, 3 p.m. And if you can join live, great. If you want to watch in your own time, watch the videos, then you can do that as well. Starts tomorrow. Annalise will put in the chat when the closing of that is, so that you can join. I think it closes in a few days' time, but she'll pop that in there. Great. April Bake School. During the term time, we go back into midweek meals. And of course, all of these things are always available to our Kids Cooking Club members at any time. And then they become part of our recipe library. So at the moment, we've got about 250 recipes sorted into skill level, and we've got snacks, we've got sweets, we've got main meals. Beautiful. So you can click on the link. Great. Now, Annalise, prizes. Do you want to pop into the chat who our prize winners are and what they've won? Great. Andrea is done. Awesome. I've got it. Andrea.
So to go into the draw
Sister-in-law
to
called
win
Andrea,
one of our
who lives
prizes.
in Adelaide.
Can everyone hear
Great,
me?
excellent. I'm looking the chat. Western. Oh, you are from Western Australia. How cool! I love that. Yeah, Jessica, your term times are different. Yes, and of course you're at a completely different time zone as well. I've got family in Katanning. Beautiful. You're from Sydney, Ahmed. Beautiful. I'm from Sydney. Annalise is from Melbourne. Great, great. Oh, do you know what? You know what I just read in the chat? I love this. I am so proud of myself. Oh, that makes me so super happy. Great. Let me just going to add my little.
Okay, so if
Beautiful.
you would like to go in the draw to win, Beth
Excellent.
can't hear me,
You know
guys,
what?
so hopefully
When we learn to cook, that is one of the great things that happens, is that we get this amazing feeling of, wow, I am so proud of myself. And nothing makes me happy. Is anyone from Canberra? Yeah, great. I know we've got some members in Canberra. Live in Monica. Great. Excellent. Blue Mountains. Beautiful. I grew up in Springwood in the Blue Mountains. Went to Winmalee Primary School. Fun. Great. Yeah. Yummy lunch is on the way. I love that. All right. So I'm not sure, Annalise, to go in the draw to win, you are going to post. I'll just read this out. Oops. To go in the draw to win, you're going to post a picture of your finished sausage rolls and tag us at Kids Love to Cook on Instagram. If your parents aren't on Instagram, you can email. So you've got emails from your parents have got emails from us. You can reply to that email with a photo. That's what some of the people did in last week's class. So you can do that. Great. Okay. You're going to pop them into the oven. Step 16, just ignore step 16. We're going to take that step out. We're going to step 17. So you're going to bake in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. 15 to 20 minutes. Now, the reason we say different times is because everybody's oven is different. And I've said this, you've heard me say this several times now. So you might have one of those ovens that cooks fabulously on one side, but at about 15 minutes, using your oven mitts and asking for help, you might need to take your tray and turn it around so that it cooks evenly. I had an oven. I've got a U-Butte oven now, but before we did our kitchen up, I had this oven and I literally had to close the door with like a strap to keep the door shut. So it still worked. It still made amazing things, but we had to make it work. So everybody's oven is different. And you don't need fancy. Now, if you're popping them into the air fryer, follow the directions for air fryers because that's a little bit different than what we're doing here. But they will work beautifully, and I've definitely cooked them in the air fryer before. Great. Oven mitts, popping things in and out of the oven, and getting your cooling tray if you've got one, or a rolled up tea towel, yeah, a nice double tea towel. I've done it 4 times. That's if you don't have a cooling rack. Great. Okay. Take a photo at the end to be in the prize, and we will contact you. That's great. April Bake School starts tomorrow. Become a Kids Cooking Club member, and you'll get an email today with the replay from this class. So you can do that at any time. And I think that's it. And pack, wash, wipe. Beautiful. And Elise, if you want to pop in the chat anything that I have missed on telling everybody. In the meantime, to go in the drawer. Yeah, great.